everyone. Thank you for being here. The title of my presentation is Cloud Computing. This is the outline of presentation. It consists of objectives, introduction, financial analysis, and conclusion. The objective of this presentation is to inform the CEO about cloud computing, prepare business case report, provide proper conclusion and recommendation, and to get approval of this project. Cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Basically, it is a virtual server available over the internet. Cloud computing allows companies to access IT-based services including infrastructures, applications, platforms, and business processes via internet. It can be used from any devices like mobile, tablets, laptop, desktop that can access internet. Cloud service providers. There are lots of cloud service providers all over the world. Some of the cloud service providers are Fujitsu, Rackspace, IBM Cloud, Amazon, etc. We can utilize cloud in various ways. Some of the ways to utilize are backup and file sharing. This allows us to access files by logging in from any location with any computer, and we can also share them online with others. We can also use it as email. We can operate our own email services over cloud to operate the business smoothly. We can also use it for software. We don't need to buy softwares and can be free from renewing software license if we use the softwares provided by the cloud computing. We can also use it as a rented server. We don't need to buy and set up a network server, which is quite expensive. However, instead of purchasing a server, we can just rent one and access it over the internet. It also helps to store details of customers and track them through customer relation management service. We don't need to install and set the whole system. We can just log into the service on the internet. There are some of the associated risks with it are security risk. Cloud providers have multiple customers' data in same server, so they have to manage higher volume of data, which makes them more desirable target for cyber criminals. Privacy issue. Someone else is looking for your infrastructure and data and can easily monitor the traffic accessing your data. Information retrieval. Some of the cloud providers do not allow their customers to conduct inspections. And control. When you purchase IT services from a cloud provider, you don't have complete control over the computing resources your business needs to operate. Experience of other companies. Business using cloud have experienced revenue rise in last year and decreased their expenses. Left chart shows the total cost comparison of PC versus thin client, and the right figure shows the decrease in pressure after using cloud. That there is an increase in sales per work in 3 months pipeline from 25% to 55%. There is a rise in revenue by 44%, and there is a record revenue increase in 12-month period by 26%. Only 13% of finance and insurance companies are using cloud. Advantages and disadvantages. There are lots of advantages of using cloud computing. Some of them are achieving economies of scale, increase in volume output or productivity with fewer people. This helps to decrease the cost. We can also reduce spending on technology infrastructure. In this modern age, everyone has access to internet, so they can access our websites or public information from worldwide. We can get more work done in less time with less people through streamlined processes. Also, it helps to reduce capital cost because we don't need to spend big money on hardware software or licensing fees. We also don't need to worry about the disaster recovery plans. Cloud providers take care of these issues. According to some survey, businesses which uses the cloud were able to solve issues nearly 4 times faster than businesses that don't use the cloud. Also, it is environmental friendly. Also, there are lots of disadvantages of cloud. Some of them are security and privacy in the cloud. Security is the biggest concern when it comes to the cloud computing. One of the major disadvantages of cloud computing is the implicit dependency on the provider. Also, there is a technical difficulties and downtime time to time. And we don't have a control. Since the application and service run on remote third-party virtual environment, companies and users have limited control over the function and execution of the hardware and software. For our businesses, the scope of using cloud computing are we can use it as infrastructure as a service or a platform as a service. We can also use it for big data analysis, file storage, backup, and as a disaster recovery plan. Some of the infrastructures required for cloud computing are server if using as a private cloud. Otherwise, we don't need that. Also, we can use it as a BYOD. BYOD stands for bring your own device. Also, the main infrastructure is internet, and also we can use it as a thin client. Cloud management. It's hard to manage cloud, so we can use managed cloud services. There are many companies that provide cloud management tools. One of them is Alphabet. It offers planning IT, integrated IT planning, and business IT management suite. Also, the price depends upon scope, breadth, and type of the user. And it's really easy to use because all information and functionality is provided from a single interface. This is the financial report of a period of 6 years. We have calculated payback period, NPV, IRR, and PI. Payback period is a time period to recover the cost of investment. NPV is the sum of present values of the investment individual cash flows of the same entity. It determines the value of the project over a certain period of time in present time. Internal rate of return. It is a rate of return used in capital budgeting to measure and compare the profitability of investment. Profitability index is the ratio of payoff to investment of a proposed project. According to our report, payback period for this project is 2.08 years, NPV is $53 million, IRR 34%, and PI is 3.21. This figure shows the importance of this project. According to our report, we have also done sensitivity analysis. There are two cases. Case 1, if productivity decreases by 50%, then the payback period becomes 2.89 years, NPV $2 million, IRR of 11%, and PI 1.08. In case 2, when policy development and maintenance increases by 50%, then payback period is 2.33 years, NPV $37 million, IRR 27%, and PI 2.54. We can see all the findings, and we can see that in all cases this project provides benefit, and all the figures show the positive aspect of this project. Conclusion. This project gives new innovation in business performance. It provides flexibility, increased profitability, and financial analysis shows it as a profitable project. I recommend you to approve this project, and we need the approval of going into cloud computing. We also need the approval of project with a best case scenario. I also recommend to approve it in using BYOD system. Lesson learned. We have learned many things from this presentation. Cloud can be used in several ways over the internet. Cloud increases the revenue and decreases pressure and cost. Lots of advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing. Also, for small companies, cut in energy source and carbon emission is about 90% while using cloud computing. We also learned to make financial analysis and to use it to make successful projects. We also learned to prepare sensitivity analysis. We also learned about risk of using cloud computing and scopes up to which we should use cloud computing. These are the list of references that I used.